Many times when I finish 3D printing projects, I end up with filament rolls that aren't necessarily enough to do another project, but still have usable filament. I'm going to show you how to fuse some filaments together. Now, some of these filaments, I've seen a lot of people that will use these in their 3D printing pins, or they'll just pause the printer as it gets, to where they want to use the other color, and they'll do it that way. Some of the tools you'll need, a good sharp X-Acto hobby knife will help when we try to take the PTFE tube off. You need the lighter and the candle because that's going to be your source of heat, and the PTFE tube. That's a pretty critical piece. I'll put some links down in the description, but there's not a specific brand I recommend. It's just PTFE tube. You can get it off Amazon. First step is to get some nice sharp ends to the filament. The angle of the cut can also help the filament bond better with the other. If the end's not sharp enough, just take it and cut it. It doesn't have to be a really specific angle or anything. And then over here, you want to check the other filament that you're going to tie to. Both of these are pretty good, so I'm going to slide both into the PTFE tube. And I want to try to get them to meet about halfway in there. I'll go ahead and light the candle now, because we've got to have that source of heat. I know it's not much different than roasting hot dogs or marshmallows at a campfire. One critical component, though, that I've found is you really need to be kind of compressing as this continues. This process is going to continue, and you want to keep it directly out of the heat. You will actually be able to see the filaments fuse together. After we feel like it's fused well, we want to make sure it adequately cools. Make sure to keep some compression while it's cooling. The cooling usually takes longer than it did to fuse the filaments together, so be patient. Now I'm going to come in here, and this is where you need the hobby knife. All we're going to do here is peel away at this PTFE tube with the X-Acto knife. One thing I always struggle with is sometimes I actually cut into the filament. We want to try to keep that filament as round as we can so that it'll go through the printer. Once you get enough of the PTFE tube sliced and peeled off, you can remove the rest of it. Something we really want to do is kind of give it a tug and make sure we have a good solid connection. We also want to make sure there are no globs where the two filaments have bonded. If there are, just use an X-Acto knife and smooth it out a little bit more. Once you feel like it's smooth enough, it's ready to be 3D printed.